All right, we're changing a water pump in a W164 2006 Ml500. First thing I did is I drew an outline of the water pump, new water pump, and I put holes for each screw. We're going to be using an E11 right here and an E14 to remove most of the bolts. What I'm going to do is I'm going to just break each one all the way around. I have already pulled off this hose. This is the oil hose. You'll see as you look, it's just a small one. I'm just going to use the pliers, pull that out, separate it. And then there's also right down here, oil cooler hose, also a small one. Break that loose. It's nothing crazy. Pretty simple. I've already removed the serpentine belt, used a 17 millimeter for that. If you take a look, it's right there. Left it on. As you can see, just a few, there's all these. Oh, that's not it right here. This one, just kind of work my way around over there. Get them all loose. Looks like they're pretty much tucked all in there. You can see water coolant is drained. This is the oil hose I was talking about that needs to come off. Got the alternator. I will get started, and if I run into any problems, I will pause and tell you what problems are. First problem I ran into is definitely remove this hose, so you can get to that there. Also, it's a 14 and a 14E here on my little box. I marked it so I know which one to use to save time. We'll keep rolling. All right. There's a little plastic cover. You gotta take this cover off. Little screwdriver. Boom. We have to undo these to get to here. This just comes off from this screw. That is a 50 Torx. No big deal. This one over here, for some reason, is an E12. It's the upper portion right here. I marked it. We'll keep rolling. All right, so when you pull off the water pump, you got to watch this right here. Tucked behind it is this tip. So you need to watch it so you don't break it. I'm not exactly sure what it is. I know mine looks pretty rough and will probably have to be replaced. Also right here, I left the hose on and I just pulled it out. You know, it worked. So you can position it so that the water pump comes in front of this, and then tilt it down enough to get that point over on this side, and then push down and it'll come right out. And so she's out. Also, one thing I missed, I was like, man, it's not coming, is this little hidden one. I did have a hole for it, but I just forgot it, and that is also a T11. So that just shows you how it's all laid out, and that should do it. Now you just put it back together, tighten it all down. So on the new water pump, these two screws, or two holes right here, will not be tapped. So you're going to need a 6 millimeter tap screw right here. As you can see, I got mine at Menards, but it just fits perfect. Okay, so you got to tap those. If you don't have a tap set, 5.5 millimeter socket will fit it just right. I believe this is where the ambient temperature, motor temperature sensor is. I'm not positive what it is, but it's a little bracket. There you go. We're still working on it. All right, so we got it all together. One thing to remember is this wire that goes to the alternator needs to tuck in behind here, not up front. I had to undo everything in order to reattach it. Drilled these two out, 6 millimeters. I've got some kind of hose or something here missing. I haven't figured it out, but it's definitely not for me. Just got to put on my secondary air. Hoses are tight, belt is on. Everything looks solid. See if I have any leaks. There's the clip in the ground for the secondary air. That's it. There's the sensor that I broke. I put some new protection on there. That's about all I got, guys. You see I put some marks to try to line the bolt back up. I had to pull this off, push this over, tuck the wire back under, and then try to get it lined up, which was a nightmare. But so if you end up having a situation like what I did, I would probably mark it before. I mean, I guessed here what was center, but I would mark it with the bolt end, and then you can tuck it back together real quick. Whew, this was a nightmare.